Hey, sixth graders, this is Mrs. Zimmerman here at my desk. I'm sitting down at my computer. I'm going to teach you a math lesson today that's going to be a little bit different, which is why I'm sitting here. Okay, so this lesson, I am going to try my best. I promise. I have been practicing using this handy little smartboard writer. So basically I write on this and it shows up on my screen for you to be able to see it. And it's going to work well today because some of the problems we have a lot of words, which is just annoying for me to have to write on the board and then it's hard for you to see them. So I figured this would probably be a good route to go. So you're going to have to be patient with me. I will try my best. My handwriting might be a little sketchy, a little ugly, but I'm going to give it my best shot, okay? So if you hang in there, I think today could be a good lesson. So what is today's lesson? Today's lesson, we are going back to ratios, but this time we're going to solve ratio problems. We're going to be given ratios, problems, how to solve them, okay? So I'm going to share my screen so that way you can see what I see. And the problem that we're doing today is tape diagrams. Okay, I'm going to teach you what a tape diagram is, and we're going to use them to solve ratio problems. Crazy? It's going to be good. Okay, so first off, what is a tape diagram? Okay, let's look at this problem here. This right here, you see this part, these colored boxes? That's the tape diagram. They look like little pieces of tape kind of ripped out and taped next to each other. Okay, that's kind of why we call it that. So let's look at the problem. What are they asking us? It says the tape diagram represents the ratio of gifts received to gifts given. You received 4 gifts, so how many gifts did you give? Okay, that was a lot. So let's go back to the first sentence. The tape diagram represents the ratio of gifts received to gifts given. So my first number is gifts received, so that's on top. Received comes first. To gifts given, these are the ones that I gave away. Okay, so you think of like Christmas or something. These are how many presents you got. These are how many presents you gave to other people. Next sentence says you received 4 gifts. I received 4. So this received box, we now know is worth how many? We know that it's worth 4, right? So the best thing for us to do would be to write a 4 in that box. Not bad for my first number, huh? Okay, so 4, that one box has 4 in it. We know it represents 4 gifts. The next sentence or question, how many gifts did you give? This part right here. Well, these are the ones I gave. If I know that each box has 4, then these boxes are the same size, so what can I say about each of these boxes? They're all worth 4 also. So I could put a 4 in each of these boxes, and we can figure out how many gifts I gave away. Okay, if you like to add, you could add all of those up, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, or the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is just to multiply, right? 4 times 4 is 16, right? You know that. So, ooh, funny looking 6. We had 4. Oh, I was going to try and write cursive. I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, you make that to an F. Dot my I. Okay, we have 16 gifts. So how many did I give away? 16. We better try another one. Okay. All right, here's another tape diagram. This one isn't colored, but it does the same exact thing. This tape diagram shows the ratio of trucks to cars in a parking lot. Okay, so we have trucks up here, one box. We have cars down here, other boxes. There are 12 trucks in the parking lot. How many cars are there? Okay, there are 12 trucks in the parking lot. Trucks. I've got one box. I only have one box. So what? Trucks. How many are going to be in that box? 12, right? So I can just put a 12 right in that box. We know there's going to be 12 in there. How many cars are there? Well, now we got to figure out how many are in all of these all the way along, right? So I could put 12 plus 12 in each of these boxes, right? But what could I do instead? I could just do 12. How many boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 12 times 5. 12 times 5, you can do it on a separate sheet of paper. I know 12 times 5 is 60. So how many cars are there? 60 cars. That's how we use tape diagrams, okay? Okay. Ooh, this one's a little bit different. We don't have a tape diagram this time. Okay, let's read it. It says, a bag contains quarters and dimes. You are given the number of dimes and the ratio of dimes to quarters. Draw and use a tape diagram to find the number of quarters. Okay, so we're going to be drawing and using the tape diagram to find number of quarters. Okay, so we have the number of dimes, 15 dimes, and we know that the ratio is dimes to quarters, which means we have 3 dimes to 2 quarters. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my tape diagram, okay? This right here, let me grab my marker, okay? This right here, that's the ratio. That's what we're trying to draw, okay? So I'm going to come over here, and the first part of my ratio is dimes, okay? So that's the number that has to come first. So I've got my dimes. And then my next row in the diagram is going, oh boy, is going to be quarters, okay? My ratio is 3 to 2. So let's draw my tape diagram. And it has how many sections? 3, right? Because I have 3 dimes for every 2 quarters. So let's look down here. Okay? 2 is going to go down here. Oh boy, okay. Beautiful. Okay, here's my tape diagram. Not perfect, yours don't have to be perfect either, but you get the idea, right? My dimes are up here, quarters right here. Now, the problem tells us that we have 15 dimes. 15 dimes. Okay, these are dimes, these are quarters, so 15 dimes. So altogether, my dimes are going to equal 15. There's 3 boxes. How much is each box worth if it equals 15? 15 divided by 3 is 5. So how much is in each of these boxes? Oh boy. 5. Let me write another one in here. That's how many dimes there are, 15. So if I know that each of these boxes has 5 in it, now I need to find the number of quarters. These boxes all have 5, right? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. That's ugly. There, that's a little better. Okay, 5 and 5. What's 5 times 5? No, sorry, not. We have 5 and there's 2 of them. So what's 5 times 2? 10. So how many quarters are there? There are 10. Oops, that's really bad. I was trying to circle my answer. Okay, 10 quarters. Let's try another one like that. Those can be kind of tricky. Okay, same exact problem. Okay, we have a bag of quarters and dimes. We're given the number of dimes and the ratio of dimes to quarters. So draw and use a tape diagram. Okay, exact same thing, just different numbers. All right, so we're going to start off with our tape diagram. okay? And now you might be able to like do this in your head or something, but the directions say to draw and use a tape diagram. So even if you might be able to do this in your head, you still have to draw out the tape diagram. It's good practice and it's a good visual, okay? So we're gonna start with our dimes and quarters, okay? What's my ratio? 1 to 4. So in my dimes box, there's going to be just 1, right? And then my quarters is going to have how many? Has to have 4. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, next part of my problem, how many dimes are there? There's 8. And this time, I only have 1 box here. So what does that 1 box equal? Yeah, we know it's going to equal 8. If this one equals 8, and all of these down here then have to equal 8, so 8, 8, 8, 8, we could just do 8 times 4. What's 8 times 4? 32 quarters. Okay? The next one is to look at, let's see, monthly allowance. Okay, I'm going to read this one. The ratio of your monthly allowance to your friend's monthly allowance is 5 to 3. The monthly allowances total $40. So how much is each allowance? Ooh, all right, let's backtrack. Okay, so the ratio of your monthly allowance to your friend. So your allowance to your friend's allowance is 5 to 3. So there's you, and then there's your friend, okay? You and your friend, and it's 5 to 3. So we're going to draw our tape diagram. And mine is 5 because it comes first. So I'm going to have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my friend's, his ratio is 3. Or hers. Depends on the friend, I suppose. Okay. So now I've got 3 boxes. The monthly allowances total $40. So not just mine, not just my friends, but total. So combine both of these together, it's going to be $40. So how do we figure out what each of these little boxes are? Divide. Okay, how many are there? 5 plus 3 is 8. There are 8 boxes. Okay, so we need to take 40 and split it up into 8 pieces. So it's 40 divided by 8? 5. How many is in each of these boxes? 5. And then there's 5 down here, right? That's not all we need to find out though, because it's asking how much is each allowance. So what's my allowance and what's my friend's allowance? Well, how many boxes do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's 5 times 5? 25. So, oops, that's kind of an ugly sign, but that's okay. My allowance is $25. And what's my friend's? 1, 2, 3. What's 5 times 3? That was a little better. See, I'm getting better. This will be great by the end. 15. My allowance is 25, my friend's is 15. That's how we use a tape diagram. Okay, your ultimate goal with all of these problems is to figure out what does one box equal. Because if you can figure out what one box is, you can answer any question that's